Corey Jones.
The shooting took place back in October while Jones was waiting for a tow truck on the side of I-95. The charges come just a month after a grand jury was handed the case. We have live team coverage tonight. We begin with News Channel 5 anchor Michael Williams.
Good evening from outside the Palm Beach County State Attorney's Office. Remember 2 words, audio tape. Revealed for the first time today that an audio tape exists recording the last words of 31-year-old drummer and beloved local young man Corey Jones on that fateful night in October. An audio tape recording his last words in a confrontation that may now become a first line of prosecutorial attack against the actions of now former Palm Beach Gardens police officer Newman Raja, who approached and confronted that young man in an unmarked vehicle, in plain clothes, and after that brief and what one attorney described as an aggressive exchange, shots were fired, a young man dead. And now this case, the state attorney today saying a grand jury took a look at all that it saw and deemed what happened unjustified.
This office has charged Mr. Raja with 2 counts. 1 count of manslaughter by culpable negligence, which is a second-degree felony punishable by up to 15 years in prison. And 1 count of attempted first-degree murder with a firearm, which is a life felony punishable by up to life in prison.
I've recorded the timeline of events, and we want to put it up for you as well. Corey Jones' car had broken down on I-95 near PGA Boulevard around 3 a.m. Sunday, October 18th. The local drummer who worked at churches and was with the Delray Beach Housing Authority was on his way home after a gig and was waiting for a tow truck. Didn't want to leave his equipment alone. According to the Palm Beach Gardens Police Department, Officer Newman Raja, who was in plain clothes in an unmarked car but on duty, stopped to check on what he thought was an abandoned vehicle. Within minutes, Jones was dead. In this case, on April 27th, sent by David Ehrenberg to the grand jury. And again, today, the decision that the use of force the grand jury concluded was unjustified. But to the probable cause that helped lead to that grand jury decision and thus the charges. And again, you heard me talk about revelations at the outset. Our Contact 5 investigator, Katie Legrone, here with more about precisely what we're talking about. And it is, to many, a bombshell today.
That's right, Michael. There were really 2 different exchanges heard by 2 different people at 2 various points during this incident that really come into play here. That first exchange was heard by a roadside assistance operator, an AT&T operator, who was on the phone with Corey Jones, assisting him, who heard the following exchange between Corey Jones and Newman Raja. Take a look at this script. According to the probable cause affidavit, Corey Jones can be heard saying, "Huh." Newman Raja responds, "You good?" Jones says, "I'm good." Raja says, "Really?" Jones says, "Yeah, I'm good." Raja then asks again, "Really?" Jones responds once again, "Yeah." It is then that Raja can then be heard saying, "Get your expletive hands up, get your expletive hands up." Jones is then heard saying, "Hold on." Raja then can be heard once again saying, "Get your expletive hands up, drop." After that exchange, Officer Raja fired 3 gunshots right after each other. 10 seconds later, he fires an additional 3 gunshots. Then the next exchange, this is interesting, 33 seconds after that 6th round of shots, Officer Raja uses his personal cell phone to then call 911. As that 911 call is being connected, before the 911 operator could even answer, Raja is heard yelling the following terms: "Drop that expletive gun right now." Again, Michael, this all coming after those 6 rounds of shots have been fired. Presumably at this point, Corey Jones is already on the ground, possibly even dead. Couple those details, those really gripping details made available today in this probable cause affidavit, with the fact that Newman Raja was in an unmarked car. He was not wearing a police vest. At no point do we understand, at least at this point, did he identify himself as a police officer. And tonight we are getting a much clearer picture as to why the grand jury came back with this unjustified decision.
And as you said, Katie, and pointed out, the unmarked vehicle, not announcing his police officer, was criticized for that. The probable cause indictment, or excuse me, not indictment, this was not. And let me say that. Some of the media has been reporting this is not an indictment. We won't go into the weeds about the legal status here, but this case was charged. It was not that, so forgive me for throwing that word out there. But the bottom line is, in their probable cause affidavit, which is what I meant to say, toughly worded about his actions or lack of actions that fateful night. And Katie, I was talking to Michelle Suskauer, our News Channel 5 legal analyst. Thank you so much, Katie. And she said, listen, as a defense attorney, I will tell you, it's that audio tape and everything that Katie just described that would keep me awake at night as I try to build what will have to be a self-defense case. Corey Jones did have a gun of his own. It was never fired. Now to family reaction, the reaction of Corey Jones' family coming to us from Boynton Beach, and Michelle Casada there with that live. Michelle.
Michael, Corey Jones's family is still processing all the information released today. It was a lot to take in, including the audio, the recordings released about what may have been said in the last minutes of Corey's life. Terry Banks, Corey Jones's uncle, choked back tears as he spoke with other community leaders here at the Bible Church of God in Boynton Beach. This is the church where Corey Jones grew up and one that he played drums at. Now, Mr. Banks says that he is pleased with the grand jury decision today. It says it's been a long process. It's been almost 8 months since Corey Jones was killed. And since then, Mr. Banks and the Jones family have been working together to make changes at the local, state, and national level. If you remember back in January, the Palm Beach Gardens city commissioners passed an ordinance to fund body cameras for the police department. And Mr. Banks said today their work is not over and today just marks a new beginning.
We see the good that's coming out of this already, but I believe that everything is going in the right direction. Hopefully it's a crack in the dam, for justice.
Now, the Joneses' family attorney, Benjamin Crump, also announced today that the Jones family will be reacting to the grand jury's decision and Raja's arrest tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Reporting live in Boynton Beach, Michelle Casada. Michael, back to you.
Thank you very much. And urban league leaders in Palm Beach County reacting quickly to today's news out of the grand jury and the state attorney's office subsequently. Let's listen to that reaction.
We have not seen this type across the country in so many cases involving officer shooting, especially with minorities. It has not gone to this point in so many cases. So this is a rare occurrence.
And so we'll see how this legal odyssey plays out in the next many, many months. No idea, of course, when this would go to trial. There'll be a lot of infighting and debates over evidence and timing and witnesses and the like. But nonetheless, this the latest step in that long odyssey. Now for Newman Raja, taken to the Palm Beach County Jail, being processed there this evening and tonight. Tori Dunnan there live with the latest on all of that. Tori.
Michael, his booking photo hasn't been released. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office telling us there's an exemption for former law enforcement, but tonight he remains here at the Palm Beach County Jail. His first court appearance set to take place tomorrow morning.
The grand jury today found that the use of force by Mr. Raja was unjustified.
The state attorney announcing charges of manslaughter and attempted first-degree murder, punishable by life in prison if convicted. Newman Raja, now at the Palm Beach County Jail, is a former Palm Beach Gardens police officer. He had worked for the department for less than a year when the deadly shooting involving Corey Jones took place in October. That meant he was still in his probation period when he was fired by the police chief in November. He was on paid leave at the time. Police say the 38-year-old was in plain clothes driving an unmarked car the night of Jones' death. Investigators say Raja shot and killed Corey Jones after stopping to check on Jones' abandoned car on the I-95 off-ramp at PGA Boulevard. The position at Palm Beach Gardens PD was not Raja's first. He was hired by the Palm Beach Gardens Police Department after working for the Atlantis Police Department. That was his first job straight out of the academy back in 2008. The Palm Beach County Police Benevolent Association plans to review reports tonight. They're going to hold a news conference tomorrow morning. We've also reached out to Newman Raja's attorney for comment, but have not heard back at this hour. It is possible he is here at the Palm Beach County Jail during that booking process. We're live in West Palm Beach. I'm Tori Dunnan, WPTV News Channel 5.
And so, back live at the Palm Beach County State Attorney's Office just outside it, 5 weeks after David Ehrenberg said this case would go before a grand jury comprised of ordinary citizens in Palm Beach County. That grand jury deciding, after hearing evidence presented by prosecutors, that this was an unjustified case of force being used and that it was used in an unjustified manner, and therefore Newman Raja, the Palm Beach County State Attorney, said facing a manslaughter charge, if convicted, up to 15 years in prison for Newman Raja, if convicted, and an attempted first-degree murder charge. And upon conviction there, should it happen, up to life in prison, a case that will continue to unfold and rivet the attention of families and indeed this community and the country in a case that has received national attention. We continue to have full coverage both on air and online at WPTV.com. For now, reporting live from downtown West Palm Beach, I'm Michael Williams. Jay and Kelly, back to you.